What we found is podcasts were the best way to do it, but not doing our own podcast. Because what we found is when you start your own podcast, you have a very small audience. And then every time you do that podcast, you're hitting the same audience. You may grow, 5, 10% a year. Great. But I want to 10x, 100x the growth of the audience, right? So what we did is we would go to other people's podcasts, realizing two things. One, when you are starting a podcast, it's very difficult to get guests. So you're actually the prize for these other podcast speakers. You use those initial smaller podcasts as a way to train yourself how to speak, figure out how to give a value proposition, because nobody wants you to come on their podcast and just pitch. They want you to add value to their listeners, right? Do not only limit yourself to real estate podcasts. Go to other subject matters. Think about, where would I go if I had a bunch of money? Where are these people? Is it doctors? Go get on doctor podcasts. Is it dentists? Is it lawyers? Is it chiropractors? Flight attendants? Whatever, right? Pilots. So it doesn't have to necessarily be real estate. You don't necessarily only need to talk about real estate or your specific type of real estate. So one of the things that I love to talk about, which is kind of catch-all, which makes it easy to get onto other podcasts, is macroeconomics, because that affects, if you're making money, macroeconomics is going to affect the way that you make or lose money, okay? And then once you get those initial smaller podcasts that, maybe only have a couple thousand listeners a month, you can use that as a resume to start pitching to a higher level podcasts like Bigger Pockets, like Crexy, some of these, the ones that are well known, even for people that aren't in the space.